Oh.
Cup.
Sibilance.
And syphilis. No.
And
Not working.
we're walking.
Oh, there we go. Hello.
That reminded me of that episode of The Simpsons. And Lisa goes over to that house of the new kid that's smarter than her, and they like what the game
Anagrams.
is. It's anagrams, right?
Lisa
Yeah.
Kudrow,
It's
isn't
Jeremy. They're like, oh, we take the person's name and come up with something, and it's like Jeremy Irons, and she comes up with something amazing. She says, Lisa, it's Jeremus Iron. Like, here is a ball. Perhaps you would like to bounce it.
He tries it later. Just he's like, well, you keep at it.
Get Into Gates, episode 80 with the Get Into Gate crew. My name is Mitch. Over there we got Maddie.
Hi.
Over there we got Brendan.
Hello.
Back there somewhere, Rhys.
Yeah, g'day guys.
As always.
And Lincoln as well.
Hello, mate.
G'day.
Hey.
We're Get Into Gate. We're here to talk about Stargate SG-1. What a bloody good show it was. Rhys is watching it for the first time, so new viewer, old viewers talking about it. Bit of nostalgia, bit of a fresh take. And we're here to talk about another Serpent's episode. This actually caught me off guard. I didn't look at the DVD
Yeah, it
when
is.
I put this episode on, and I'm like, how many Serpent episodes have we had now? Is this 4? Is my count correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had his...
And it seems to be every time we get a serpent something, it's Apophis. I have nothing to back that up. It's probably
Yeah,
not.
They're
he's the serpent.
on to me.
The serpent god?
He's the serpent god, so it probably but like
Yeah.
his
Makes
Jaffa wear snakeheads, so
Yeah.
I think it's kind of on trend.
Nah, I'll wait for a third piece of
Are we going to make
Thank you very much.
Are we going to make a joke about his venom, or we just move on?
Nah, move
Let's
on.
move on.
Oh, look at that.
I look in your eyes, Rhys, and Rhys is like, he says move on, he's like, I'll save it for later.
I think
maybe
that was better
it's
than the
get-
joke I had in mind.
He's got this little twitch in his eye. He just wants it to come out. No. Oh.
Maybe it would have been a good
what's it
name
become?
for the Harcesis, because that's the serpent's venom.
Oh.
Yeah.
If you took Rhys's joke, I'm going to knock you out so hard.
And you know what? That joke, the fact that that was a payoff to a joke, still made more sense and was more relevant to having a Harcesis in Stargate Origins, which had no point.
Oh,
They
snap.
just wanted to see
Spoiler for Lincoln.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was really looking forward to that.
Don't worry, it doesn't mean anything.
I told him one night in a
Nothing to do
fit
with
of
the
anger.
plot.
I'm like, they don't put a bloody Harcesis in there. I think it's like, calm down, bro. I'm like, no.
Calm down, I'm not going to watch it, all right? I get your point.
All right, let's see what this episode is all about. If Apophis is indeed in it, and then we'll go to Rhys and see what he thought about it, watching it for the first time. SG-1 travels to a remote interplanetary minefield to sabotage a hazardous alliance between two powerful Goa'uld system lords. But their mission becomes far more dangerous when they realize Teal'c has been captured by one of the lords, who plans to use him as a pawn in their evil negotiations. Rhys, Apophis, Hero
He's back. Horror attacks. Oh. Look, I mean, who doesn't love Apophis? Like, he's got hair this time, which is pretty cool. But that his face is healing nicely after Jolinar's memories.
Yeah, it's like a nice
devil
little
within.
progression thing. It's like the plate is kind of, it's like the skin is
Why
slowly
wouldn't-
growing over it.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't the sarcophagus just fix it immediately?
It was pretty damaged.
Maybe he was just that fucked up.
Way too damaged for the most advanced piece of healing technology in the
Mentally.
He got,
galaxy.
he got in the sarcophagus. I knew I'd. He got in the sarcophagus, and the sarcophagus said, "What the f is this?"
Yeah, it's like, do I make your
Nah.
skin grow over it or under it? Like, do you want your skin underneath the faceplate to fall off, or do you want to keep the faceplate and I'll just grow over the top? I don't fucking know.
We need to do a survey prior
Wait,
to
wake
this.
up.
I love how his first order of business is to get like 5 birds around him just to like stroke his armor.
Soft touch.
There's just
Just
a big.
soft
He's like, I've been living the worst life. It's so
They
calm.
got a smile on their face, but they're like, "Oh my god, he's so disgusting. He's 400,000 years old. He's got a snake in his head. He was dead for a little while.
I don't
and
know
now
what's
he's got
going
metal
on with
in
his venom
face."
at the moment.
But they're not even physically touching him. Like he wouldn't be able to feel any of it.
None of
Through
it.
all that armor and clothing and stuff, he's feeling nothing of it.
You wouldn't.
Just for show.
You wouldn't understand what I had to do to get here. Jolinar's sloppy seconds.
Oh shit.
So was it just me, or did
That
no
I-
one? I mean, when I say no one, like Rhys is the only one watching this for the first time, but I haven't seen it in a long time. Rachnar bloke who'd obviously had the thing, torn off his head, the symbol of Apophis. He shows up immediately. I'm like, don't trust that bloke. He's clearly going to betray you.
Yeah.
And it was weird. I think my kids
Don't
were...
trust a guy with vomit on his head.
Well, that's true.
No, that's just a used piece of gum that's just been stuck there. He's saving it for later.
Rule of life.
But he just
Where
had
the
that look
Serpent's
like...
venom went.
Where Teal'c...
Let it dry. Anyway, sorry.
Teal'c comes in and it wasn't like he was being subtle about it. He's like, yeah, the guards. They're false guards.
Yeah.
Jaffa are going to crush them. I'm like, literally, you just met these two guys. Maybe, I know Braytek vouched for them. Still play a little bit safe because you're on Teal'c. Like, just be careful. And I'm like, yeah, Ragnar, don't trust you son of a bitch. What are you going to do? Kids are yelling. I had to pause it. Shut the door, obviously. That's someone else's problem now. Rewind it. And
Sorry, guys. Stargate's on. You're on your own.
watched it again, and then there was a moment where he's like talking about the gods and how they're false, and he's going to crush them, blah blah blah. And then Ragnar just sort of had this like slight little nod, and I'm like, oh no, hang on. He's into it. He's doing that sort of like halftime talk in an American football movie, like, yeah, coach, yeah, that slow nod. I'm like, nah, Ragnar's your boy. No, he's
game
totally
of
betrayed
inches.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I do find that is Teal'c's biggest weakness is the Jaffa Rebellion.
Yeah.
Because he speaks about it all the time and he's got a smile on his face and anything anyone ever says, he's got blinkers on about that.
Yeah.
And it's like, he's so surprised when anyone betrays him, when they're talking about freeing them from the gods.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, they're going to do this.
But mate, that's religion for you. But given the fact that even Ragnar like tells the story of how his father was so like anti Goa'uld that like he burned the symbol off Ragnar's head, it's like really, and Ragnar's still drinking the Kool-Aid. Like, so I really liked the fact
Yeah, well,
that
after his whole family got killed, I don't blame him that much. He's probably doing it out of necessity rather than...
enough to
well,
radicalise
out of
him,
fear
really.
as well.
Yeah.
I do
Just,
still want
religion's like go-to thing. It's
Yeah.
like, fear me.
Yeah, that's right.
I do want to know what happened to Ragnar's dad. Like, did he pry the thing off his own forehead?
No,
Or
he
did
burned it.
No, but
Didn't he
like
say?
he burned it off Ragnar, but did he do
Yeah.
that to himself as well? Did he like
Oh.
see how
No.
much pain it was causing to Ragnar? He's like, "What at you, Dad?" He goes, "Oh, I've had it for ages though. Like, it'd be a waste of time for him to take it from my head."
I'm pretty well known.
You have to-
I'll just we'll try it on you first and see what happens.
Tell you what, there was some commitment though, because remember when Teal'c was in Demons, when they put like the fiery like stick from the embers and touched his symbol, and he didn't feel anything.
Fireproof.
Nothing.
So and it didn't melt, nothing happened. So it's like, what would Ragnar's father have had to do to actually burn that? It's like,
Blowtorch for
I will
6
dip your
hours.
head.
Full got a welding
I'll
torch.
dip your head in liquid hot magma. I'll take you to the fires of Natu and just smash your face into
That'd
a
be
rock.
a kind of a good one. Stargate Origins, Ragnar's dad.
Yes. He's just some loose drunk guy. Look, come here, I'm going to burn that off your head.
He just put his cigarette out on his forehead. That's all that was.
Four hours
really
in.
dark. It's so dark.
4 hours in, he's like, we're nearly there, son.
Just like the tiniest knife possible, just slowly, just a little bit by little bit, just cutting into it.
But even in this one, there's like whatever that prodder stick was, straight in the pouch.
yeah.
Oh, God.
Now we've seen them already, haven't we? They've
Yeah.
shown up somewhere.
Yeah, we've seen him.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah, seen someone screaming out light.
Yeah. What was that bloke's
Eyes
name?
and, eyes and
Yeah.
mouth.
Who?
Yeah.
Rockstar.
That was my question. What, that light come out their eyes and the mouth, why not the nose and the ears?
Matt, that's
Something I don't
a
understand.
conversation the producers have every single time
Yeah.
they use
Really?
that stick.
It's called the Angry Dragon effect.
Yeah. Yeah,
We've
pretty
all
much.
been there. Some of us on one end.
Makes
some
for
of
nice
us on the
compatible
other.
viewing when you watch Shrek 2 and what happens to Princess Fiona when she becomes the ogre at the end. She shines out of like
right.
every
Yeah.
orifice and limb as well.
Yeah.
So it's a very similar effect.
Now, before we get on too much further, I want to maybe start a new segment.
Oh.
It's time for the...
Well, this one,
How can we play our one and only tune to this segment?
I haven't thought of that yet.
Oh,
Well, this
leave
could
it to
just
me,
be a
mate.
one. Yeah, I'll leave it to
Leave
Rhys.
it to me. Off the cuff.
So this one is what I want to call the Sounds of the Gate. Now, for me, I'm a huge music fan. Obviously, most people in the room love music.
Gangster rap, obviously.
Wow. Yep.
Normal people call it rap, but because he's white, he calls it gangster rap.
Yeah, well, you know, most people don't rap like gangsters in Australia.
That-
Obviously, I do.
That rap medley in the middle of
360,
TLC's Waterfalls is just so hardcore.
So good. Michael Jackson's Black or White.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
mate,
rap in there.
remember the boy band 5?
Oh, do I?
Mate.
Everybody get down, baby. I want it now, baby.
Wiggy wiggy, I'm getting jiggy. Open up the door, you got the keys to your city. Looking kind of pretty, dance till you drop, and it won't stop till you go pop. Never heard it.
That was special to watch.
No.
Hold on. I'll see that and I
You
raise
got
you.
your shoulders going.
There's some gangster rap there for you.
I seen a rainbow yesterday, but too many storms have come and gone, leaving a trace of not one God-given ray. You said because my life is 10 shades of grey, I pray I'll tend fade away, seldom praising for the sunny days. And life is promised is true, only my faith can undo the many chances I blew to bring my life to a new. I could keep going, but I won't.
Right, what other lame raps do we know?
That's literally the only one I know. I could do the whole thing verbatim.
Chick of the China, the China. I have a drumstick. Can you raise your stick?
Your eyes are you're just like this innocent child, like, what can I do?
I don't, you're like, oh.
Let me in, coach. Just give me a chance. I always let rain on him. It's all psychological.
You honestly were just like, I've got something, I don't know if it's going to work, but you get to chain it. You know what?
Nailed it.
It's like everything's solid in his face except for his eyes. He's just like dead behind the eyes, dead behind the eyes.
So
Sorry, back to you.
no, that's good.
So, yeah,
I'm
we
happy
love-
for it.
You love music, yeah?
That whole thing there, that's the intro.
That's it.
That's the intro.
Reese's rap. That's the intro to this one. So we've had music a few times in this podcast. Back in season 1, Hathor, we had a bit of Twisted Sister with I Wanna Rock. And then in the same episode, I think Sisters are doing it for themselves. Even Rhys and I did a bit of Frasier a few weeks ago.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Oh, don't forget You're So Bane.
oh, great call.
And what was your other one that you wanted us to dance to? Did you say that one?
Oh, This Girl Is on Fire.
This girl is on
Yeah.
fire.
So like I'm thinking of a Get Into Gate soundtrack.
Oh, Jesus.
So there's something.
Pretty lame songs for
So
us.
when I do, well,
It's got, you have a
Depends.
pretty broad reach with what we've played so far.
yeah.
For a man that likes gangster rap.
So when I do research for this show, which is pretty rarely, I usually Google the episode just to see what it spits out.
Mm-hmm.
And what I found was a song by a German band called Wizard, and the album is called Thor, and this song is called Serpent's Venom. So I want to play this.
I think not.
The reason I want to play this is because it's called Serpent's Venom, and it's relevant to Stargate. In Norse mythology, Thor fights the Midgard serpent. And if you're a fan of God of War, that's referring to the world serpent. So just listen to this great German heavy metal band.
The whole song?
I've cut it down.
Mate, you should get a job in radio. The way you're introing this is...
Thanks, bro.
Don't talk over the intro.
Whisper.
Odin's brother, choose his side, brings death to God's end.
Crank it.
Yeah.
The forces clash on vagrant fields in the longest winter time.
Pretty sure this is Tenacious D.
The German Tenacious D.
Kill trolls as well as lords. The serpent's venom. Beneath the mighty
Surprised you think it's sick. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
How good's that?
Oh, that was the...
Oh, go again.
Wait, we're going for round 2.
I'm a little bit sad that that's the last time that segment's going to get airplay.
How good was that?
Oh, man.
One of the greats.
I don't
Look,
wanna-
and obviously the reason that is relevant, it is Norse mythology, and it is Thor versus the serpent. And in God of War, Kratos is played by Christopher Judge, aka Teal'c, and that happens in that game. So that's pretty much what I'm getting at.
What was the band's name?
Wizard.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Just so I can't
Just
Google
a
it.
good, just a good album. Just a good album to play.
Nah, we'll give that a shot. I did like that song.
Look, mate, Google it.
Yeah,
Great.
Googled a lot of things.
That was atrocious, but I'm happy.
Right.
I
you missed the Gossip Girl.
am happy to rubber stamp that only because, and I cannot oversell this enough. I found something for next week's episode that is going to blow your minds.
Oh, John Farnham?
No.
Try and
Look,
understand
I'm
it.
just...
Chain
That's
reaction.
all I'm going to say because I don't want to give... I'm not going to give anything away to give you guys a chance to Google it, but it is... I'm a huge Stargate fan, and I never knew this even existed. So...
Fancy's been around for ages, though.
He keeps coming back, mate. He's at Serum a couple of
what
months.
was it? Whistling Jack? Whatever it is?
Whispering.
Whispering.
Come on, bro.
Close enough.
But it's a soft whistle.
I'll tell you what I was a big fan of at the start of this episode. Jacob, he's obviously, and Jacob / Selmak, right? So pretty high ranking
Awesome.
guy in the Tok'ra.
Thank you. These
Army.
guys over here hate Jacob.
No, we don't.
Rhys does.
No.
Rhys hated
hates
him
the
in
Tok'ra.
episode.
He's
the
just-
first
Yeah,
episode.
yeah, and see, I was just thinking that I was about to say I know Rhys hates the Tok'ra, and I feel quite the same way because they are dicks about a lot of.
Absolutely.
You're right when you were saying they still retain some of that Goa'uld arrogantness. But they sort of go, on a moral side of things, we obviously don't want to slaughter planets, so we're so much better. You're like, okay, on that side, yes, but you're splitting hairs because you're still dicks to everyone. You're still really sitting up on that high horse.
Yeah.
But it's like, Jacob's that little saving grace for the Tok'ra.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, there's a little bit of humanity left.
And you know what I liked about it at the start of this episode, maybe to support that, is that he is Selmak, right? He's still Selmak when he
Yeah.
walks around. He just lets Jacob talk, and vice versa. He's on base. He's getting around in his old Air Force uniform.
Right?
I'm like, you're Selmak. He's like, nah, I'll just wear this with it out. I'm not tucking this in. I'm
that
going, I'm
sand.
going O'Neill style.
Look at that shit cap that they make us wear in the
Yeah,
sand.
I'm not wearing that cotton tripe any longer than I have to.
And what is that thing I chuck over my right shoulder? No one knows.
That leather braid.
It's like a
Yeah.
ShamWow or something. Just
For me, it's the bottom
To
of
wipe my sweat.
the bottom of a steam mop. It's always been the bottom of a steam mop. I cannot unsee that.
Yes.
You know what I think it is? I hate Sam's dad, but I love Major Carter. You know what I mean?
What?
Yeah, no, yeah. I get
When
what you-
he-
That's,
when he-
that's two different people. So
General.
Well, he's
Carter.
General.
Yeah. Do you mean?
General Carter?
General, yeah, what did I say?
Major.
You said major.
Yeah, General Carter. So there's a Serpent's
Sorry
Venom
about
getting in my brain there.
Let's play that because nothing could be more awkward than that song. So anytime there's an awkward moment, we need to play that. So it's like, okay, that's the get out of jail for free card.
Absolutely.
So you like? What did you say? You like Jacob, but you hate Sam's dad.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
That's a fair point.
Sam's dad's a dick.
Yeah.
And that was the guy we met on the first time we saw Jacob, was Sam's dad
Yeah.
going, oh, got your job in NASA. Would you appreciate me? P.S. I got cancer.
Yeah, but what about a couple of weeks ago when he went full dad on Sam and Daniel, like on
Yeah.
the planet,
Yeah.
when he's pulled them up, like that was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was more of, I think, there was a little bit of doubt. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of a general, like, it's the general mixed with the Tok'ra
Yeah.
knowledge and wisdom. It's
Yeah,
just
but
that you're right, he did sort of
I think the
get into
best thing about Selmak, though, or Jacob, is that Selmak's brought Jacob up to not being a douche. Jacob's brought Selmak down to
Yeah.
not being a douche Tok'ra.
Yeah, they've definitely set that
So
up,
they've
and it
kind of
does pay
balanced.
off further and further throughout the
Yeah,
series.
he's
But
sick.
for me, this is some of like Jacob / Selmak's best work.
Obviously, I'll need Dr. Jackson, and there may be some complicated mathematical calculations to be done, so Sam would be a big help, too. Of course, Colonel O'Neill is always lots of fun to have around.
Lots of fun.
And Jack came along.
The timing is critical, George.
Then you have a go.
And I love that he can push George like that on like an equal level. Like even though
Yeah.
he's retired and he's now a freaking Tok'ra, he can still like pull out that "Hey, we were both generals" type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, George, we've got to do it. Like
They're
no,
old friends
No
too.
one else, like not even like O'Neill calls him George. Like
Yeah.
you know.
And Hammond was like, "You already convinced me before this meeting started.
Yeah.
I
As
don't know
always.
why. I don't know why we needed to do this."
But I like it. Obviously, O'Neill was pissed off at the Tok'ra as well, because as soon as Carter said, or Jacob said, this is what we're going to do, and O'Neill's like, I need to know the plan. I'm sick of this Tok'ra bullshit where you just
Yeah.
say, this is what we're going to do, and you don't tell
Yeah.
us. He's like, hey, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
It's like, I'm
Yeah.
sick of
It's you.
surprises.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a
Good
good
call.
That's
Yeah.
a good change. I like that.
I love how O'Neill sticks it to him, and he does it in such a cool way. It's not confronting, but it's still like the stakes are high. However, he manages to do that, Richard Dean Anderson, with his
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, it's almost like subconsciously, like Earth is pushing back at the Tok'ra and just going. Especially in this episode, it's like we're not so much like, oh, can we please be allies because you guys are Goa'uld and have so much more better technology than us. We're just this episode, like, fucking respect us or fuck off. Like, yes, we need allies, but if you're not going to treat us as equals, fuck off.
Yeah.
Which I really like.
You need me.
Now, can we get to the best bit of this episode? Is the minefield?
Oh,
God, I love this episode.
I love it.
Like they get rid of the bulkhead. I'm like, oh, that's a good set reconstruction. That's nice. But they've still got that middle bit on the Teal'c that we had from old Harris Brock.
Oh, the center console.
Harris Bock.
The center console.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, I'm pretty sure they don't need that. That was just for that kind of
Mate, there was buttons on it
herring.
for the ring.
Mate, that's like...
no, but the top bit.
Yeah.
You know how he touches it?
All right, yeah.
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 But come on.
It was
it's
already
like,
there, they might
it's
as
like,
well
what are you
leave
going to
it.
do? Like, that's like removing the handbrake from your car. Like, that whole thing's one assembly.
Yeah,
You can't
fair
get rid
call.
of that. Like, you know.
You
That's
don't need a
like
handbrake.
That's the center compartment where you put
Yeah.
all your tissues
Put your
and
sunglasses, that kind of
sunnies
thing.
and
Yeah.
use condoms.
Put your spare symbiote in there, all that kind of stuff. But what was so cool is the fact like that mine is on like a big crane arm, and like Martin Wood did such a good job. Was it Martin Wood or Peter DeLuise on this? Yeah, Martin Wood. Peter DeLuise wrote it, but Martin Wood did such a good job hiding the fact that mine was just on this crane arm. Like they just disappeared into that sort of black curtain at the back of the cargo ship. But there's a point where they get Daniel to walk around it like 360 when it first sort of beams in. But he does a cut in the middle that is so seamless you don't notice. It just feels like Daniel has just walked through it. So it really gave it that element of just like that it's
like
floating
magician.
there. Yeah, it was.
So
So
like
good.
Copperfield.
They ringed that mine up, and then they had to dodge the rest of the mines. Question I've got is, why didn't they just go to the top of the minefield?
I know, he went into it.
Well, you have to be a good driver. I've got to drive through the minefield to get a random mine.
That's a good point. I,
I think
never thought of
because,
that.
yeah, I don't know why he drove in there.
Yeah, pick one on the
Showing off.
outskirts.
And then he went, all right, now clear the rings. I'm like, no, Jacob. Clear the rings, then go into the minefield. What?
And isn't it
but
lucky
beyond
that
that,
the
actually-
mine is just the same size as the rings? Like it just
perfectly.
fits inside the rings.
They did their research,
That's,
man.
you know.
See, I was angry with the whole clearing the rings. I was angry at Daniel there. Like, he's bringing it.
Sometimes you just fire off at random points.
The computer has it down.
Jesus.
It's all up to Apophis now.
Is that he's like, go clear the rings. I'm like, why are there books and sheets and shit all not even like near the ring or
you do that
inside
in
the
your
ring,
own
actually
room, Daniel?
on the ring?
Yeah.
Like, what are you thinking? You disrespectful.
Hey,
prick.
Stay off in the corner.
Look,
Yeah.
I know you guys have been on Daniel, the last few episodes. You've got to remember, Carter was reading those books as well, and she didn't even know how to read Phoenician. She's just sitting there.
They've all
she
seen
borrowed
rings.
them from Daniel.
Oh, it's all Phoenician to
But
her.
all I'm saying is, Carter had the.
How was that though? She threw that Phoenician line back to Jack.
She
like,
loved it too.
So, I've been
Laughing
thinking
to
this all day. They get you going? Nah, me neither.
But my point is, how do you know
That was sick,
it wasn't Carter that threw the book over the rings? It could have been Carter throwing her
Mate,
book
that were
across the
Jackson's
No.
books. He needs to take care of them. He knew where the mine was going to get ringed up
And
to.
Carter's
Totally-
clever. She's going to be like, yeah, don't put them on the rings, obviously.
rings. I'm not going to stand for this.
Jacob
shit.
taught her better than that as a kid. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Daniel
Tidy your room.
with his no
I
parents
think
and
so.
their archaeology.
Well,
accident.
no creases in the
Dan-
sheet.
Daniel's father was Seth, so I guess it makes sense.
What?
Yeah, that's true.
The
same actor.
This is the same actor that played Seth, played Daniel's father in Gamekeeper.
See, that's
Right.
where we get those issues.
So confused.
Yeah.
I'm like, geez, spoilers. How does this work?
I forgot you guys don't listen during the actual podcast, so that's fine.
Man, I'm lifting weights. I mean, I can only lift. Like, I only.
No, I meant him. Rhys is the one that said, "No, I don't listen. I don't listen when anyone else is talking."
Well, why would you?
Yeah, I listen. I keep listening back. I've actually made an edit of just me talking.
It doesn't make sense, but it's
I'm
great.
the OG Patreon for that, by the way. Like, that's me under. Do you know? I actually play a game on my app, and my name on it is Shalkek Nemron. I'm just.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And so, because it's like chat over the thing on Discord and all that kind of stuff. They're like, oh, hey Shal, can you do this? And I'm like, it's not an abbreviation, but I've had
Use
one
my full
person,
name, thanks.
one person hit me out going, just curious, is your name from Stargate SG? I'm like, yes.
If you know Stargate, then obviously you should know
We are
that
best
it
friends.
is.
Yeah.
I had to get that out. Sorry. Anyway,
Good.
They're the stories we want you to get out.
Real life Stargate.
Who's Rockstar Goa'uld who come in
Yeah.
blonde, sort of
From the
80s
80s.
rock hair?
Yeah. Symbol?
oh,
who
the
was
torturer dude.
Teal'c or whatever it was.
Yeah, Teal'c.
Terrasac.
Was it actually Rock? Was he was Rock and it was a Teal'c? Yeah,
Something like that.
yeah. I think any other time I would have hated how sort of overplayed he was in this episode. I actually kind of dug it. Like, he's coming, he was such an arrogant prick. And I'm like, you're not even the
so
most high-ranking person. Don't come in here talking like you're a system lord, bro. Like, your boss is outside. Like, I get in the
He
room.
doesn't even have any Jaffa with logos on, like his logo on their heads.
Such a chip on his shoulder, eh?
And he comes in, he's like, "Who do you think is more known, me or Teal'c?" And I'm like, "Obviously Teal'c." That's a no-brainer.
I've been watching this show
gods and won.
I've been watching this show for 3.5 seasons, mate. Never heard of your fucking name.
I know you are.
I know Teal'c by Teal'c and Shova. So
Two names.
Shonut was alive. Go ask her. Challenge the gods and won, motherfucker.
Apparently, the actor actually like scared the casting directors. Like, he came in and when he did his audition, they were all just like, when he left, they were like, "We're a little bit scared of him."
Yeah, he's one step shy of a Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. So they actually
We better
sort of,
cast him.
Martin Wood apparently Martin Wood sort of went out and spoke to him like as a normal, because he like came in character and like trashed the room basically. They went out just to talk to him as a person, just to
Are
make
you
sure that he wasn't a
fully
complete
there?
psycho.
Wow.
Yeah, and like,
Are you an
okay,
actor? Have you got the...
Yeah.
You're here for an audition,
Turns
right?
out he's just the janitor.
yeah. So like, oh, okay. When
He's coming in and messing up my fucking rooms.
That guy was amazing.
You're hired.
So yeah, so when they were out, took him outside, and they were like, "Oh no, he's actually a normal person." Like, okay, you can have the job because you're not going to be a weirdo.
Yeah.
Wow.
we think.
You're not going to murder us
and
in our
apparently,
sleep.
in the first sort of run through of his like first appearance, he came in and actually like grabbed Chris Judge by the throat or punched him in the stomach or something like that. And Chris Judge wasn't expecting it, so he kind of did it to get that, you know,
Jesus.
antagonistic thing. Well, Chris Judge was actually like bound up as well, so I figure probably figured he was safe.
Yeah.
But he
Oh,
kind of
right.
did it
Quickly run
intentionally
away.
to get
Yeah.
to get like an extra
That's
reaction.
lunch.
Actually, I know we said earlier though, that's Teal'c's thing. Like, he's just got blinkers on, you know, and the Jaffa Rebellion thing. But what I like that always leads to, if shit does go wrong, is what he is throughout this entire episode. Is like, I'm never going to say that these false pricks are actual gods.
Yeah.
So
And
stubborn.
then Ragnar's like, he will kill you and revive you 1,000 times. Will you still not say that he's a god? He's like, no, because he's not.
Yeah.
I don't care what he does to me. And I'm like, I believe that you won't.
But
You
he was
will
also
suffer
like,
through all this shit.
of that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he's like, I know he'll do this to me, and I'll never say it.
Yeah.
Even, yeah.
And
I
then
won't
Ragnar,
even drink his water that he gives me.
The guy comes in, he's like, Braytak succumbed, and Teal'c's, I just picture Teal'c looking at him and go, well, Braytak's a bitch. I'm not going to do it. I don't care what Braytak did.
On that, Rhys, at any point did you believe him when he said Braytak was dead?
Not even Braytak lasted this long.
Yeah, I straight away I'm just like, what the? Did they just kill off Braytak? And yeah, it really bothered me.
And we never saw Braytak again.
We might just leave you hanging and just see whether he does actually come back or not.
Nah, surely I'd be devastated if that was his farewell. Just some
Off-screen
random guy
killing.
going, "Oh yeah, P.S. This awesome character's dead."
Well, to be perfectly honest, we had a couple of people like get in touch with us via like Facebook and Patreon and that sort of thing, and they actually said they worked it out. We actually don't see Braytak until next season. So for the longest time, one of our listeners actually thought that was how they killed off Braytak, and they were like, "Can you please do that to Rhys? Make him think, like really hammer it home." And we were just like, we had a chat about it. And we were like, "Nah, too mean. We can't do it. We can't." Do it.
I know the process. You don't kill off good characters without giving them a farewell.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah.
Or do
A
you?
double episode or some shit.
Yeah. At least give him a double episode. Now, I did love that bit where he's getting tortured and he goes away and Ragnar says to him, he's trying to talk to him about what he should say and everything, and Teal'c's, saying his side, and he just goes, lies, and Teal'c just goes on this, like, so passionate from deep within the symbiote pouch.
Why would I lie?
Yeah. If I thought if I thought my soul would be damned, if I thought that, why would I lie? And you're like, boom. Just mic drop.
Yeah.
Straight up.
I get
so much strength behind that.
I get goosebumps every time he does that. Why would I lie?
Yeah.
And B, like that's some of like Chris Judge's best work.
Yes.
Like he gets given so little sometimes. This is, I reckon he said more in this episode than he said the entire season up until this point. And
they
it's all
have
gold.
so much about the false gods. They say, oh, they're false gods, this and that. You see, they say, oh, you've ignited the flame of this and that, all that kind of stuff. But this is that one thing that I saw that really showed how passionate he was and how much he's, like, it made sense. That kind of put it out there. And when you're a viewer, you're just sitting there nodding, going, oh, yeah, Tell him. Say it again.
The one thing that distracted me about Chris Judge is how intense his face is and how calm his voice is
Yeah.
compared to his face.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is weird.
I
But
don't
it
know.
was awesome.
It's because you're not used to his face moving.
Yeah,
That's why.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, the jaw clench.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the little
Off that, I don't ask this because I've seen it, but has anyone seen it? Maybe you, Brendan, because you love the game. Have you guys seen him do the voice work for God of War? I'm just wondering
Yeah.
what he must be like.
No, yeah.
Because you'd think he'd be like, his whole body would be into it and really
Yeah.
animated, but then his obviously voice would have to be quite
Yeah, because
calm,
they
I
do.
imagine.
It's all motion captured. So
Oh, yeah, of
they
course.
actually he had to learn all the lines, and they did all of it.
Far
Him and the
out.
kid. It's epic.
Wow.
Yeah, go and watch behind the scenes for it. It's sick.
Nice.
Wow. Just on Ragnar, because I know Mitch was talking about it before and just trying to figure out his name. Given that this is written by Peter DeLuise and that we know from like the first ones and stuff, he just likes to throw in random names that he knows and allusions to movies he loves. Do you reckon Ragnar is just like he's rejigged the Rancor from Star Wars?
The what?
The Rancor, the Rancor beast from that Luke Skywalker fights at the start of Return of the Jedi.
Oh, okay.
The big lizard in the cage. That's the Rancor beast. So just knowing what Peter DeLuise is like,
Surely.
you reckon?
Ragnarok.
That's what sort of sits with me. I wonder how, like, with a few of these names that aren't in mythology and aren't, mythological characters or names or this or that, where are they getting them from? Because I remember they said with Christopher Judge was saying, I think it was Mitchell, was it Supernova or Comic Con that we went and watched him speak and we got that photo with him and stuff like that. Was that Supernova?
Super.
And he was speaking and he said that they just put a bunch of letters together and try and find the best word. And that's how they come up with Zet Nicodel. And stuff like that. They put a bunch of letters together and they were just like,
That's
okay,
sick.
sweet. Yeah.
'Cause that's what I was thinking. All right, go around the room. You pick a consonant. You
Yeah.
pick a vowel. We'll put an apostrophe there. You pick another vowel. You pick a consonant.
And like you're sort of wondering with these names, you're like, okay, do we get as a derivative from this name? So I guess that's my I guess that's when someone talks too long from now on. It's like, on the Oscars. When someone talks too
Is that
long at the
annoying yet?
Oscars, that's that music to tell them
love
to get
it.
off stage. And I was just like talking way too long. I feel if there was ever a time for
Getting the
that
wind
song
up.
you're describing that torturer dude as being a rock star and that you didn't play that goddamn song. I was like, the only opportunity missed, you sick son of a bitch.
Everyone's blaming Mitch, but it's not Mitch's fault.
What is it? Just the computer playing it.
No,
It's Brennan.
it's me.
Imagine if that was cutscenes though, like just that was part of the torture. It was just him in the corner, just like he's got a full 80s
He's got
set.
that flame guitar
Yes,
from,
he's
Mad Max. From Mad Max Fury Road.
That's his torture thing. It's like, I can't say anything.
With the Jaffa Rebellion thing though, like for me, it was. I know this is a big arc for Teal'c ongoing, and there's obviously been whispers. Obviously, he's wanted to start this forever. Like he wants the Jaffa to rise up. But as far as it being the genesis, the opening of this episode, where he's already on Teal'c, he's already had setups for this meeting. Braytek set this up for him. It just seemed like such a. It seemed that there was a lot of backstory to that meeting that we've not seen before, and it was just there to be a setup for him to get captured and for this episode to play out, because from memory and looking ahead to what the next couple of weeks are, it's not like they follow up on that in the next couple of episodes. So it's like, here's this massive thing that we as long-term fans, other than Rhys, know is going to be a big thing for Teal'c, wanting the Jaffa Rebellion to be a massive thing. But it was just sort of thrown in to go, we just need him to get captured by people. Like it, and
Yeah, so he had a couple of meetings before them, didn't he? And he said, so-and-so from the mountains and so-and-so
the
from...
Cordite
oh,
Planet.
yeah,
whatever.
threw them
Like,
under the bus.
He gave
What
them
happened to
away.
those blokes?
We'll go kill them.
And we never see them again, or at all.
But then, like, what happened? Yeah, exactly. What happened to them? Did they go down and to the meeting the next morning and, we should start a rebellion? Where's Teal'c? I don't know, but let's start a rebellion anyway. Like,
Yeah, they're probably dead.
He really,
He's the double shoulder. That'll be the talk going about Teal'c
Yeah.
now. Is that he's this bullshit rebellion bloke, and then he just sets us up to get actually killed by
Yeah.
Apophis.
Well, there was another sort of bit of shorthand in the episode as well with the fact that Jacob was there. Like Jacob was there already on leave, So it stopped us having to like have the whole scene where the Toker sends a message or we message the Toker and someone comes and it happens to be Jacob, blah, 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 blah. So that all helped. And I did notice, obviously, we had Jacob 2 weeks ago in Tangent. He came and rescued the guys out of the X301. And then we had the Curse last week and then this episode. In the visual companion book that I've got, it actually has Serpent's Venom first and then the Curse, which actually kind of makes sense. Like, if Jacob had stayed at the end of Tangent and he's still here after Tangent.
And then that's why the transport ship's on Earth on the tarmac.
Yeah, why Jacob's there with his ship. He's still...
which was awesome when they walked up that bloody runway and then it just appears. I'm like, that is epic.
Did you notice it cut off Jack's head, though? The CGI?
Oh, did it?
Oh,
yeah,
did it?
fully cuts off half his face.
I didn't know the head. I just know as they walked into the doorway, they just quickly transitioned to black, like way too early.
Yeah.
Well, and if you once you were inside the cargo ship, if you looked out the front windows and saw the tarmac, it was going off in the wrong direction. Like the ship would have been orientated a different way on the tarmac.
Talking about names, how you're saying coming up with the names, I noticed that at the end of this episode, Ragnar said the two ships will rendezvous on the third moon of Titchner.
Yep.
That's named after James Titchner, which is like
He's the visual effects supervisor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
cool.
a writer at some point as well. So yeah, I think Peter DeLuise does that a lot. We said in the first ones.
Yeah, he just
that
loves
he just grabs people's names.
What a lad.
From life and chucks them
wicked.
in. I'm like, that's sick.
That's the type of mate you want to have.
Yeah. But you're in craft services, but in season 6 you get your name thrown in there. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I'll name it Goa'uld after you. It's just your name with an apostrophe in the middle. You are the man.
Ice.
What I loved about like towards the end is like when they realized like the great reveal, obviously, that Teal'c was on Herower's ship. Did you pick that up at any point, Rhys? That Teal'c was going to be involved in the end, like in the fact that we were there trying to destroy, like we were in the minefield trying to destroy Apophis' ship and Herower's ship. Did you ever at any point think that that's where Teal'c was until they kind of did the reveal?
Yeah, when Apophis said, what are you offering, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, they're going to give Teal'c to him. And then once it fast forward to...
Didn't he get a massive hard on?
Oh,
when Teal'c comes out.
He pushed those armor strokers right out of the way.
Yeah, back up.
Don't let Teal'c see me with you guys. But when they ringed him up and then Carter... Jacob tries to catch him and he goes, we missed him. I'm like, oh shit.
That's
what are they
what I
going to
was,
do now?
yeah, that's where I was leading to, because doesn't it kind of like make Teal'c even more badass that when Teal'c did it back in Joel and I's memories, he caught them at a stream.
Yeah.
And it's like Jacob's been bigging up how good of a pilot he is this whole time, and he missed them at a
It'll
stream.
take some pretty fancy flying.
I'd say right, 'cause I was
Punch it.
getting so ready to call bullshit on that, because when they're like, we got to go in and catch him midstream, and you see the beam of energy like between the two ships. It's there for ages. They're like, okay, handbrake off, and blinkers
Indicator.
on, and slow. And I'm like,
Checking rear vision mirror.
the ring thing does not take that long between ships. If you get there and still catch it, I'm calling bull shit.
Yeah.
And thankfully they got there, and it's like, we missed him. And I'm like, well, of course you did. It took you 4 minutes to get it.
I didn't understand why he had to uncloak, because he was cloaked when he jettisoned the mine out. So you could ring it out.
Yeah.
But then had to uncloak to receive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit weird.
Yeah, and
Didn't
why did
make
he
sense.
uncloak prior to his approach?
Yeah.
Because he's not Teal'c, obviously.
Yeah. And it sounded like
smart.
some like Selmak bullshit coming through Jake, because he's like, we'd have to go do this. Oh yeah, we'd have to uncloak though.
Yeah, he did.
Expecting them to go, well, we don't want to do that. And he was like, so fucking uncloak us then.
Because, you know,
Oh shit, well that was my
we
last excuse.
We can do it, but it'll be a bit of a bother.
yeah, I mean,
Selmak
biologically,
just doesn't want to.
biologically, Selmak is still a Goa'uld, and he's like, what? It's just a Jaffa.
Yeah,
He's
pissed me
like-
off when he goes,
Teal'c's just...
Teal'c's expendable. I'm like, he is
Whoa.
not expendable. I'll kill you.
Did you see Apophis' hard on when he saw Teal'c? There is no way he's expendable.
Was this not the easiest episode that Peter Williams has ever had as Apophis? Like, he didn't get up off, except for when he got the hard on when he saw Teal'c. He never got up off his chair. He just sat there being stroked by
And then
extras.
I've
And he
got-
didn't have that much screen time either.
No. But then I think it's one of his best moments he's ever had, and I still have no idea what he actually said. But the way he delivered it when he got pissed at Herower blew my mind.
Kree Hero. Apophis.
He's like pronouncing the apostrophe. Like he's just giving it to
I
them.
watched
He
half
says
of
his
this.
own name like nobody else.
This is the way it's supposed to sound. I'm the captain now.
I watched half of this episode on the DVD and had the subtitles on, so I actually got to read all of their alien dialect coming up, and I'm like, this is so much fun. And then I watched the second half on Stan on my phone, and it just comes up, alien language. Alien language. And I'm like, come on, guys. The subtitles obviously
Bloody
exist.
Stan. It's
Lazy.
just Australian lazy.
Reese's best
Sometimes.
mate.
I mean,
Great
we love
people
you. We
over
love you,
there.
Stan. If you want to
Absolutely.
sponsor the show,
Sure.
Jump on board.
Just get in contact.
But that's. I could imagine the. I can imagine the word getting out about this, where Teal'c, when Teal'c first opposed the gods, became a Shalvar. How many system lords have died since then? And then now he gets abducted by Herawera, and now Herawera is dead.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, adds to the legend of who Teal'c is.
Yeah. There was
Yeah.
two really cool
I like
looks,
that.
and one of them was
Pour one out for a fallen homie.
I thought you
I
were
wore my
getting
hair.
out a nipple.
is that a hero word?
Oh
t-shirt
yeah, I wore my
see?
Hero t-shirt. Just
They
'cause-
exist.
God.
Heroer is the shittest Goa'uld. I
He's
don't
my
know why
favorite
you like
because
it.
he's got
There-
the best symbol. Look at it. It's like
There
a
was
T.
Seth.
It's a mechanical eagle.
It's like a
can't
T-bird
see.
from the front of a Camaro.
It looks like the Zelda shield.
Oh, it does a bit.
Yeah,
That
that's-
looks like
that's pretty
Nightwing.
solid.
Yeah,
I
it
do
does look like
that.
Nightwing. That actually looks like it should be on the front cover of the people that sing Serpents! The Serpent's Venom!
Wizard, yeah.
No, there was really two really cool bits where one where Jacob realized when he's offering, said he's going to offer up something, and then after that Apophis will pledge loyalty.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's he offering? And none of them, even though Jackson speaks fluent Goa'uld,
Yeah.
he just decided not to. But it was Jacob's look that
Again! You got the extended one like
In no ways it's targeted at you. It's
gonna
just, it's a time release.
was
At least it's not me for a change.
That was the intended target. It didn't happen. Matty does take up the most airtime, so the odds were against him.
and of all weeks for you to be in.
Yeah.
Like, you've been in like 2%
Well, it's been
of
good
these.
to have my last podcast with you guys. I'm glad we got to share this moment
You'll
together.
be back next week.
Yeah,
Shut
yeah.
up. Sorry, keep going, Link.
Oh no, I was just going to say it was Jacob's look when he realized it was Teal'c. It was just this moment of shit.
Yeah.
And then he just so subtly just Teal'c. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, cool.
And,
then
the tie-in is that, like, in the Goa'uld dialect, that all they say is Sholvar.
yes.
Yeah.
And,
I
like,
love
he
that.
knows that
And
straight
that's
away.
how notorious he
Like,
is.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like,
I
the
think-
Sholvar. No,
Yeah.
not a
Yeah.
Sholvar, he's the Sholvar.
Yeah.
I think like O'Neill could have picked up on that.
Yeah.
Well, Daniel as well, yeah.
Even Fraser
Especially.
could have picked up on that. But, sorry. Anyway, as I was... there
Even
was
Jonas
Yeah.
right now would know that.
Sorry, cover your ears, Rhys. But there was that, and also after Apophis did that mad like dialogue of "I'm the boss," Herawera's face. He knew.
Yeah.
He literally did this look to the side and then just like look forward. He's like, "I'm gone."
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of thousand years of life, and this is where it's come to, and I'm
Yeah.
stuffed.
And he's what? He's
Didn't even raise the shield.
he's the son of Hathor and Ra. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
He's
he
seen
had some pedigree.
yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, he was already shitting himself when Apophis first rocked up in that new, like, giant
Yeah.
ship, which I think is a nice tie-in to back in Upgrades, when they sort of had to take down a new sort
Yeah.
of type of ship that
Yeah.
Apophis was building. This is obviously way bigger than that. But on top of that, he's now got an entire fleet of cloaked motherships.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
like,
next level.
Heroa's arse end just fell straight out of him. Like,
Even before him, though, like the idea that Jacob's just like sitting there idling, like waiting for his moment. Unbeknownst to him, there is 6 motherships just looking at him going, look at this little bitch. Should we kill him? No, we haven't got orders yet, but if we wanted to, we could.
Literally a cargo ship, no weapons. Just
They've all got their targets aimed on him, and he's just sitting there. Doo-doo-doo.
I want to go back to the cargo ship because that's probably my favorite part of the episode when Daniel and Carter are trying to figure out this mine.
yeah.
And did you notice? Oh yeah, when it's like whoa, and it's like what?
Yeah.
Daniel,
Hey.
stop being a bitch. But when Carter touches the symbol on the bottom, it opens with the old dial-up internet access sound effect.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it's go back and listen to it. It's like,
Nice.
And I'm like, no, stop it. Yeah, on this rewatch, I noticed that they didn't say don't touch the outside of the mine until that point. It was just kind of like assumed it's a mine, don't touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't technically say don't, but then Jacob says don't touch anything but inside.
But remember, Daniel was also hoping for tiny writing on the outside
Yeah.
of the mine that wasn't
Maybe
there.
it was just, couldn't be seen by the naked eye.
Yeah, just so...
We need to take it back to the SGC.
Yeah.
What I liked in that though, when they do the 3 to the right, 4 to the whatever, a simple little combination to override the mine. And he's done. I don't know what's wrong. Like it's these. I've 1 through to whatever, and Sam's
This
like,
is 1. This is 2.
What about 0? What do you mean? Oh, when maybe this ancient culture put in 0. Why would they do that? It's very important in math. And he's like,
it's a math thing.
explain to me why though. And I'm like, dude, this is not the time for you to prove why you're right,
You're like
or more
30 seconds
importantly,
from dying.
why someone else is wrong. Okay? She's like, dude, 30 seconds. He's like, no. I want to hear why you think I'm wrong first.
It's like, it's a math thing.
I will
last
die
week.
here if you don't explain it to me.
I'm happy.
If the episode The Curse taught us anything, it's that Daniel will substitute any important moment just to go, hang on. He goes, why am I right? Yeah. But there was, like you were just saying, in those moments, Mitch, Brett, is also when O'Neill, when it's flying and you see the mine starting to move, which was such a cool touch.
I loved that.
He had to keep it in sync with its natural movements.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, Jacob!
Yeah.
You're like,
And he pulls Carter out by the leg.
Yeah, and
that was
there's
cool.
there's
That
at
was
one
sick.
point where, and it's like, it's mainly focusing on them at the mine, and Jack's kind of like in the, not even in focus really, and there's a point where he's like at the helm, and he's kind of just like waving, like trying to wave away at mine.
Yeah, that's good.
And I'm
Yeah,
just
when he
like,
takes,
That's just RDA just chewing scenery. Just like, wait.
feeling it.
It's like, Selmak looks up and he's like, look at this idiot.
Yeah.
Because it was from his point of view.
Look, now I hate to bring up something a little bit serious, but we've had the whole Harvey Weinstein thing. We've got the whole #MeToo
Oh,
movement.
Jesus, we're going dark. Okay.
Look, I'm just a little bit worried about Amanda Tapping and her reputation.
Sergeant Siler down there in the corner with his faithful companion. Interestingly enough, on this one, as Amanda passes the faithful companion, she grabs his butt. And she did it every time. And so it makes him spin around. I know that because it's me.
And by the end of the day, I cream my pants.
Yeah. He's like, I made us do that about 8 more times than we needed to.
Wasn't feeling it, guys. Wasn't feeling it.
And really, it was just Chris Judge.
Amanda Tapping has no idea.
Yeah. She's like, what? That was not me.
There was another bit of kind of sexiness in the cargo ship, I thought, too, when Jack pops his head down near Carter's pelvis and was like, how long, kids? And then you could tell, like, Carter was like, where do I put my hands?
He's literally got
here?
360 degrees worth of ways to get in, and that's the spot he chooses.
Of course.
She was
It just seemed like such like a teenage sort of thing, like when you like someone, you think they like you, and so like you sit
lean
each
on
other on
it.
the bus, and you're like,
Not
little
allowed
arm.
to.
I'm allowed to do that arm touch. Okay, well next time I'm just gonna do the little tap on the. I can get away with that now.
It's time to find out if Rhys been paying attention.
Absolutely.
What timing!
Great timing. You had your finger up there.
Up where?
My ass.
I hate this song.
Love it. I'm gonna change it to my ringtone for every one of you blokes.
Yeah. Group chat messenger tone.
Absolutely.
We're here very early in the morning recording this, and I'd set a bunch of alarms. I'm up early for work anyway, but I'm on holidays at the moment, so I slept through the first 2, and my wife woke me up. She's like, I think you're getting a lot of private messages on Facebook from the boys. I'm like, I wonder what that is. Oh my God, I'm recording today. Imagine if that just went off like every 8 seconds. Serpent! Got my 10-month-old in the bed go, what is this shit?
Okay, so 5 questions, 30 seconds on the clock. Time starts after the first question. You ready?
Oh, absolutely not.
What is the name of the Jaffa that helped Teal'c escape from Heirachy?
Ragnar.
Correct. What did Jacob call his head device on the cargo ship?
Oh, Jesus. Pass.
What math thing did Carter say Daniel's code was missing?
0.
Correct. What episode did the original home of the Goa'uld appear in?
I'm the Goa'uld.
Yeah. You there?
Family?
No.
It was pass.
What is the name of the stick used to torture Teal'c?
Oh, the pouch poacher. I don't know.
Well, they should.
That would have been great.
The way he started off, it was like he got the answer out before the first second of
Yeah.
this went. So I was just like, oh, Rhys is on
Oh my
fire.
God,
today,
he's got
baby!
this. So yeah, you got Rachnor was the name of the Jaffa. His head device was he called the HUD.
The HUD, the heads up.
Everyone
Heads up
calls it a
display.
HUD. It's a-
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a gimme. Obviously not.
They all are, mate.
The math thing was missing a 0. You got that right. The episode with the Goa'uld home one was Peter DeLuise's first writing, the first ones.
That's the one.
The name of the stick used to torture Teal'c was the Rod of Anguish.
It's a Klingon pain stick.
Rod of
Or, yeah, it does.
Hey,
Yeah.
enough of that Star Trek
hang on a
shit.
second.
I would have accepted a pain stick. In the ass.
Oh, what about the pouch poacher? That was a pretty solid answer.
I'm pretty, yeah.
I was excited.
I was
about
almost
that.
going to give you that.
Yeah. Give me your
'Cause how
pouch
good
poach.
Yeah. You're damn right. So, Daniel Jackson, what do you got?
Rhys, your father made you wrong!
Fuck you, Jackson.
You stupid son of a bitch.
I'll never get over that. That never gets old.
So good.
That's how excited Lincoln got when he realised that you didn't get them all right. He sort of bouncing up and down in his seat.
Play it. Hey, Ed, push the button.
All right, that's episode 80 of Get 80. We didn't even reference that at the start.
80.
80. Well done. I mean, our wives never thought we'd get this far because they didn't think they'd let us. But hey, here we are, 70 episodes.
We don't last that long in the bedroom.
No,
so.
exactly. It's like, why do you do it with the guys?
That's why we've got plenty of room to come down here and record. Plenty of room? Plenty of time as well.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week talking the greatest hits of John Farnham with Chain Reaction. And that's on the next Stargate SG-1.
On the next Stargate SG-1,
We're taking fire reports.
a disastrous mission,
Do you really think I believe you're quitting because we ran into a little trouble out there?
a shocking announcement,
I'm stepping down as commander of the SGC.
a conspiracy at the highest level.
You want to help General Hammond, you're going to have to get your hands dirty.
Now O'Neill must risk it all to expose the truth
I'm not leaving till I get what I came for.
and stop a doomsday operation
When that bomb goes off, we'll still be connected to that planet by an active Stargate.
before SG-1 faces its own self-destruction.
Close the
Sound like a fart.
Radiation levels approaching critical.
Commence immediate evacuation of the base.
Richard Dean Anderson stars on the next Stargate SG-1.
Oh, stop it.
Good song.
They're going to come
No,
back.
actually, stop it. Like,
No, just
Roll
keep
out with
it
this,
going.
Mitch.
It's not getting better.
Revolution.
Oh, man, I can't wait to introduce any American or overseas audiences that don't know the wonders of John Farnham. Whispering Jack.
Years of music to catch up on, guys.
Next week when we talk Chain Reaction for episode 81 of Get Into Gate. If you're joining us for the first time,
Chain reaction.
if this was your first episode of Get Into Gate, you can go back and check 80 plus episodes of our back catalogue on all of our podcasting channels. Just search Get Into Gate, a Stargate podcast.
And if you want to check our back catalogue, you can jump onto Patreon.
Oh, absolutely.
Patreon.com/
Contribute to the
/Get Into
show,
Gate.
join the show, be part of the show, exclusive extras on Patreon.
yeah, and I want to give a shout out to a couple of our new Patreon supporters. We've got our regular contributor, Ryan DeSaneri. DeSaneri?
No,
Well, we
you've
get
murdered
Every
that.
single
Scenario?
time you do this.
Just say it
I
faster.
was literally thinking this the other day, and I'm like, you know what? He's probably going to say...
I'm just being
He's probably
considerate.
gonna
I don't
drop
want
off.
to intentionally mispronounce someone's name and just go. I'm not going to be like friggin' Hammond being like, it's Goa'uld, not Goa'uld. I'm being considerate.
Oh, mate, we were calling Ashley O a guy for ages. Like, just pick one and stick with it. DeSaneri.
It's
Oh, perfect.
it's DE space Sannery. So
DeLuise.
yeah, you know.
DeSannery.
This one's not getting better. We got Daniel Pucci. Pucci?
Poochie.
Say
Oh,
with-
the pooch.
I should have had that Simpsons audio ready to go.
Snoop Dogg's son.
And Greta Neal as well.
Great up.
So welcome to the Patreon family.
Welcome, guys. Welcome aboard.
Daniel is actually the one, if you're on our Patreon, Daniel actually started sending us emails first. He's the one that sent us the email that was like, guys, I've just listened to all the episodes. You're good.
yeah.
That's him.
Yeah.
That's
P.S.
done.
P.S. I'm drunk.
P.S. I'm drunk. From the UK.
That was my favourite bit.
As soon as I read that email, I fell in love.
It was really appealing to sort of all of our favourite things.
Oh
Just
my god.
swearing and drinking.
Yeah.
And
Stargate.
short bursts of Stargate.
He's from the UK, but
And
soon
the
to be
UK.
Brazil. So, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let's move to Brazil.
Yeah.
Way more cocaine. I've never been to Brazil, but surely.
Never had cocaine.
Never had cocaine.
Yeah, that's where
Brazil?
she started, but...
Had a Brazilian, though.
Here's the
Wax.
things I know about Brazil. Yes, the wax. I know what the flag looks like. They love soccer, and there's that big Jesus statue. That's it.
Oh, Rio.
Sure.
Rio de
Rio de
Janeiro.
Janeiro. Yeah, the big
That's
Jesus.
everything I know about Brazil.
Outside of Gate, you can check out our other podcast, Get Into Geek. A pretty big movie came out this week, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Or after you've seen it, maybe the Wasp and Ant-Man, you can check out our full spoilers or non-spoilers review of Ant-Man and the Wasp over on Get Into Geek. Ourselves, Mitch_Lewis on Twitter and Instagram is where you can find me. Well, you can find Maddie at
High Pitch Maddie.
And Brendan.
I'm at the Brendan Gibson.
Rhys.
I am at the Flying Gibson.
Lincoln.
At Link_Lewis.
Good shit, mate.
Thanks,
We'll. Are you coming back next week, or because I'll need a lift when we come in? So
My car's not moving.
It's chain reaction, mate. We might play some.
yeah,
I really like. Yeah, I love this episode. I really love the next episode upcoming. So
You are literally the link in our chain reaction.
Stop it. Literally, stop it.
if the missus gives me leave, I will be here. So please, baby, please.
GetIntoGeek.com.